Jake Portman, a teenage grocery store worker, gets a call from his father asking him to check on his grandfather Abe, who suffers from dementia. A coworker drives him there. When Jake arrives, Abe is missing. They search the area and eventually find him lying on the ground. His eyes? Gone. Before dying, Abe clutches Jake's hand and tells him to go to September 3rd, 1943, find a postcard, and meet the bird.
Go to the loop. September 3rd, 1943.
It's okay.
Jake freezes, then spots a huge monster lurking in the dark. It disappears when his coworker fires a shot. Jake dismisses Abe's words as nonsense, but the sight of the creature haunts him. A month later, still troubled, Jake begins therapy. He tells his therapist about Abe's childhood stories, of a secret home for extraordinary children on the island of Cairnholm, run by Miss Peregrine, a strict but kind woman who could transform into a bird. If you're hooked and eager to enjoy more fascinating movies, smash that like button and subscribe right now so you never miss another thrilling recap. Abe's stories described children with unusual abilities. Bronwyn and Victor with superhuman strength, Hugh who carried bees inside him, and Emma who could float. He even had photos to prove it. Jake believed these tales until a school presentation led to classmates mocking him. Hurt, he accused Abe of lying, and Abe never spoke of the home again. Jake's therapist believes he can't distinguish Abe's imagination from reality, which explains why he thought he saw a monster. One day, Jake's aunt gives him a book from Abe's belongings. Inside is a postcard with Miss Peregrine's name and the address of the home. When Jake shows it to his therapist, she suggests visiting the place for closure. The next day, Jake and his father travel to Wales. They check into an old hotel, and Jake visits the children's home, only to find it in ruins. A local man tells him it was destroyed in 1943 by a Nazi missile, killing everyone inside.
A German air raid, bomb fell right on the roof. Not one survivor.
The next day, Jake returns to the ruined home. While exploring, a girl suddenly appears, startling him. He runs, falls, and blacks out. When he wakes, he's being carried by Bronwyn, the strong girl from Abe's stories, surrounded by other familiar faces. Emma, the floating girl, explains that Miss Peregrine sent them to bring him into the loop. They lead him through a cave, but Jake panics and runs back to his hotel. There, strangers confront him. He learns he has traveled back in time to September 3rd, 1943. Mistaken for a spy, he's nearly killed before the peculiar children rescue him and take him to their home, where he finally meets Miss Peregrine.
Right on time.
Inside, Olive heats tea with her bare hands, revealing her power to create fire. Miss Peregrine explains that the home was built for people with rare abilities, known as peculiars, whose gifts are inherited through recessive genes and can appear in any generation.
It's a recessive gene carried down through families. Yet many generations can pass without a peculiar child being born.
Miss Peregrine explains that such homes exist worldwide to protect peculiars from ordinary people. Each is run by a special type of peculiar called a imbrin, who can freeze and reset time, as well as transform into a bird. She resets the same day, September 3rd, 1943, over and over. The residents have lived in this loop for decades without aging. Abe was once among them, and the children Jake met were his old friends. Jake is stunned. When he asks about Abe's ability, Miss Peregrine avoids the question. Wandering the house, Jake meets Enoch, who can bring dead creatures or objects to life as his puppets. That evening, Jake learns Abe left the home to join the army.
You know perfectly well why Abe left us. To join the army.
And that Emma once loved him. After dinner, the group watches Horace, a peculiar who can project his dreams onto a wall, sometimes even visions of the future. After the film, the group steps outside to watch Miss Peregrine reset the loop. Jake is amazed as she freezes a falling missile and rewinds the day back to September 3rd. Later, Jake discovers a letter from Abe to Miss Peregrine and secretly keeps it. Emma leads him toward the cave to exit the loop, but on the way, an injured Yimbrin in bird form lands nearby. Emma takes it back, while Jake leaves the loop. At the hotel, he reads the letter, which warns Miss Peregrine about Baron, a dangerous enemy targeting peculiars in another loop. If you're enjoying the story so far, don't forget to hit that like button to show your support. The next day, Jake's father takes him birdwatching, where they meet an ornithologist named John. Irritated by him, his father cuts the trip short. That night, once his father is asleep, Jake slips back into the loop. When he asks Miss Peregrine about Baron, she refuses to answer. Enoch then brings Jake to see Victor, another peculiar, but Jake is horrified to find him dead. Enoch inserts a heart into the body, reanimating it as a puppet to show his ability.
Hello, Jake. I'm Victor.
While walking together, Jake asks Emma about Baron. She takes him to a sunken ship, clears the water with her power, and gives him a box that belonged to Abe. Inside is a map of every time loop and photos of peculiars, including Baron, leader of the Hollows, creatures who hunt peculiar children. Abe had secretly left the home to track them.
Abe dedicated his life to hunting them down.
Emma then shows Jake Miss Peregrine battling an invisible monster like the one he saw when Abe died. She explains that only Abe and Jake can see these creatures, revealing that Jake shares his grandfather's peculiar ability. Back at the home, Miss Peregrine explains that Hollows were once peculiars, who tried to gain immortality by using Imbrin's powers. The experiment failed, turning them into invisible monsters who must eat peculiars' eyes to regain human form. Baron and a few others became human again, but with milky white eyes, while many Hollows still hunt children. Miss Avocet, the injured Imbrin Emma found earlier, wakes up and reveals her home was destroyed by Hollows, who killed all her children. She warns that Baron plans to repeat the experiment using more Imbrins, with Peregrine's home as the next target. Peregrine orders everyone to pack so they can move to a safer loop. Emma asks Jake to join them, but he refuses and leaves the loop, returning to the island. On the beach, Jake sees a crowd around a body with its eyes missing and realizes the Hollows have arrived. He rushes to the cave to warn Miss Peregrine, but John, the ornithologist, follows and reveals himself as Baron.
Mr. Baron, how do you do?
A shapeshifter who had also posed as Jake's therapist to find the loop. Baron forces Jake to take him to the home. Peregrine agrees to go with him in exchange for the children's safety. After they leave, Miss Avocet and Jake secure the house, but a Hollow attacks, killing Avocet before Jake injures it. The group escapes to the attic and flees through a tree branch. With Peregrine gone, the loop ends. The date shifts to September 4th, and a Nazi missile destroys the house, though everyone survives. Outside the loop, the group heads for the Black Loop, where Baron is holding Miss Peregrine and other Imbrins. Guided by Abe's map, they reach a carnival. Jake and Emma enter, arriving in 2016, and spot Baron with his allies and monsters. Jake distracts him, luring the monsters and two men outside, where the children's plan, throwing snow to reveal the monsters, works perfectly. Enoch animates skeletons to battle the creatures, while the others use their powers to take down Baron's team. Jake frees the caged Yimbrins, but they're too injured to fight. Facing Baron alone, Jake is stunned when Baron shapeshifts into his exact likeness, leaving Emma and Enoch unsure who's real. Emma and Enoch point a crossbow at the two Jakes, trying to decide who's real. A monster bursts in, and the real Jake warns them. Mistaking Baron for him, the creature kills Baron by taking his eyes. Jake then defeats the monster. Before the loop closes, he bids the children farewell as they return to their ship in 1943. In 2016, Jake visits Florida and finds Abe alive, Baron's death having erased his past actions. Abe encourages Jake to return to Emma. Jake travels through multiple loops until he reunites with Emma and the others on their ship. He confesses his love, they kiss, and Miss Peregrine soars above, watching over them. Before you go, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on more thrilling movie recaps like this one. You won't want to miss what's coming next.